This changes everything for the Pittsburgh Steelers is following what has been a disastrous last 24 hours for many Steelers fans after the Steelers hired Mike McCarthy. A brand new report has dropped surrounding not only their plan regarding the quarterback position, but a new report that changes the landscape of this entire offseason, both from a coaching perspective, but also from a personnel perspective, as Omar now has to shift to making some moves. You're going to want to stay tuned till the very end of this episode, because we also have an update surrounding Arthur Smith. Huge one, and a ton of other things on this episode, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get into it all, a quick thank you for all your guys' support. You've been absolute beasts. It means the world to me. Yes, McCarthy is not the signing many of us wanted. However, it's not growing on me quite yet, but there's some positives in the to go over today. But we're going to be focusing in on something that came out, and it is very notable here. And Tom Pelissero yesterday into this morning, following, of course, the Mike McCarthy signing, has revealed that Mike McCarthy is, quote, very intrigued by the upside of quarterback Will Heyward. And lost in the shuffle of everything, right? The Mike McCarthy hire and, them missing out, I guess, on Chris Shula, not even interviewing Chris Shula or, of course, Nate Scheelhaas. Their quarterback position is wide open. Talks of Aaron Rodgers, talks of all these guys. But Tom Pelissero has reported that McCarthy is intrigued by the upside, and we might see a world where they bring in Mike McCarthy, who objectively is pretty good at developing quarterbacks and getting the most out of them, to bring in, to elevate Will Heyward and potentially have him as a starting quarterback. A ton of reports to dive into. But quickly, before we get into it, and you're going to want to stay tuned until after until the end of the video, this video is brought to you by Gosse. And folks, if you download it using the link below and enter code DIGESTNFL, you'll get $20 when you trade your first 100. And Gosse is the largest prediction market in the United States. We're on their platform. You can trade yes or no on real life events, sports, elections, news, pretty much everything, ladies and gentlemen. And whether you're in California, Texas, or anywhere else across the country, Gosse is live in all 50 states. And for us sports fans out there, you can trade on game outcomes, playoff chances, or player performances, all on a regulated market where you can cash out at any time. And you can trade on who you believe is going to win the NFC Championship game, the Seattle Seahawks or the Los Angeles Rams. I'm going to be trading probably yes on the Los Angeles Rams, but if you think the Seahawks are going to win, you can trade yes on the Seattle Seahawks. If you trade $100, you'll win $176. And folks, is genuinely a better way to use your sports or news knowledge, and you can close positions whenever you want. So make sure to download Gosse with the link in the description, and don't forget to use code DIGESTNFL to get your $20 bonus. And thank you once again to Gosse for sponsoring this video, folks. Let's dive right back into the news, and of course, we're talking about Will Heyward. So, few things to go into here. Now, of course, we know Will Heyward, we're going to dive into his stats. Obviously, in college, had a 4,000-yard season. But this is the intriguing part of kind of everything here. McCarthy's background is generally with quarterbacks who play more from the pocket. Rodgers obviously ad-libbed, but was great in structure too. So I can see why he's intrigued by Will Heyward. And Will Howard's a guy who plays a lot in the pocket and is somebody in college that, there is upside to Will Heyward here. You look at his time in Kansas State, and you look at his time, his big year in Ohio State before he declared for the draft. He had a 4,000-yard season with a 73% completion percentage, right? So he has upside. Now, it's very rare that a sixth rounder is going to become a starter in the NFL, but this changes the outlook of everything because all eyes now are on the quarterback position. And of course, we're going to be diving into whether or not Mike McCarthy is going to get an offensive coordinator, which is doubtful, who they're going to bring in defensive coordinator, because Arthur Smith is gone. But you can see here from this article, one of Mike McCarthy's primary tasks over the next 5 years, and quick note, folks, it is a 5-year contract for Mike McCarthy. Sometimes there's opt-outs thrown in and out for older coaches. I don't believe that's the case for Mike McCarthy, but if new news drops, I'll, of course, let you guys know. And you can let me down below in the comment section if you guys know if it's a come out, but as the time of recording, it hasn't. You can see here, they do have other options on the roster. Mason Rudolph is still under contract. Will Heyward, a late-round draft pick last year out of Ohio State that they're really high on, is in the building. My understanding is he's very intrigued in Will Heyward. And if they don't want to go out and go with Aaron Rodgers, I'm kind of hoping they don't. I am, maybe call me crazy, I wouldn't be super opposed to giving Will Heyward a shot. Now, of course, they have the 21st pick in the upcoming draft. Is a weak quarterback draft class. And if they want to have a bit of a bridge year, you could go with Aaron Rodgers and try to, become mid again. I'd almost rather see what they have with Will Heyward, because you can at least then see. And I'm not saying have him as the everyday starter or even the opening day starter. Maybe they run with an Aaron Rodgers. Maybe they run with a Mason Rudolph to see what they got. But I wouldn't hate seeing what you can get out of Will Heyward, right? Because Rodgers said that he has a chance to be great. And the reality is, like I mentioned, very few sixth-round picks become starting quarterbacks. But you can see Tom Brady, Tony Romo, Brock Purdy, Kurt Warner. It's happened, right? Late-round picks. And Mike McCarthy was clearly brought in to be somebody to develop the offense, develop the quarterback position. And A lot of people are coming to the defense, actually, of the Mike McCarthy signing or hiring as of late. I'm not there yet, but you can slowly but surely start to see, depending on what they do with their quarterback position, why they brought him in. But I'm not going to, talk about that too much regarding, defending Art Rooney II, all those different things. I wouldn't hate if they bring in, Will Heyward as at least somebody who can play this upcoming season. Because you can see here, apparently that is one of the points McCarthy made during the interview with the Steelers, that he develops quarterbacks. Whether that means whether that means, I'm excited here, Will Heyward is his guy, or they will draft someone, that must have really sold Omar Khan and Art Rooney. So again, the reason they took Mike McCarthy is because of his relationship with, of course, the GM Art Rooney, or the GM Omar Khan, owner Art Rooney, and of course, assistant GM. And it's at a point now where there was a relationship there, but their clear reason was to develop a quarterback. And that's at least a good sign, because I don't think, if all these reports are true, that the reason that they signed him was because of his ability to develop quarterbacks. And I say sign, I mean hire, but I'm always just going to say sign because it's where my brain goes. They could easily develop multiple quarterbacks. I don't know if they're going to draft one in the first round this year. They could make a trade for a guy like, I bring up, Justin Fields, Kyler Murray. I could see a world where we kind of run back the year before last, where it was a Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, see what you got. But at the very least, if there's any positive to take from this, it's that I don't imagine they're going to go in with Aaron Rodgers or a veteran quarterback, right? I think at this point, it's not a bridge year per se, but it could easily be because of the weak draft class. And the Steelers clearly valued his background with working with quarterbacks and leading offenses, which is something Mike Tomlin did not do very well at all. It's something Arthur Smith did horribly. Like, he didn't run the offense very well. We'll dive into Smith in a minute. I don't hate it. And Tom Pelissero coming out recently and saying that the Steelers aren't hiring McCarthy to lure Aaron Rodgers, but that is a potential byproduct. I don't think they're going to bring Aaron Rodgers back. And Aaron Rodgers said himself he's probably not going to be, returning. So it's all good things at the end of the day here, outside of the actual hiring, right? I don't think Mike McCarthy's the right guy for the job. They should have interviewed Chris Shula, Nate Scheelhaas. They should have at least done their due diligence. It's pretty incompetent that they didn't. But the more you kind of look into it, it makes some sense, right? And it's going to be interesting, especially given the fact that Arthur Smith has officially found a home elsewhere. He's going to be the offensive coordinator at the aforementioned Ohio State. He had offers. I don't think he had a head coaching offer, but he had offers from other teams to be the OC, I believe. He was still under contract with the Steelers. They're clear now. The Steelers are completely cleared out. Terrell Lawson's contract is up. Arthur Smith's contract is now void. It's gone. They can either develop from within, which I don't think they're going to, not do. I think they're going to keep Mike McCarthy and let him run the offense, quite frankly. They got to find a defensive coordinator. Bring in Chris Shula as your defensive coordinator. It's probably not going to happen. Maybe there's a world where they bring in Nate Scheelhaas as the defensive coordinator. There's a lot of worlds here, but people are slowly starting to come around a little bit. McCarthy and his offenses have done well. Y'all want an offense, and that's what we have now. The problem is, what are they going to do to improve it? That's the exciting part, is maybe Mike McCarthy can find a hidden gem quarterback, can find some wide receivers for this team and get the most out of the offense and let the defense speak for itself via talent, because they have all the talent in the world. They're the highest paid defense in the NFL. But let me know down below what your thoughts are, folks. You guys are beasts. Cheers.